I'm here with Joe Bennett of the Bennett Group. Joe, you saw about 600% success last year in terms of growth from the year before to last year. Looking at that number and that amount of growth, what does that signify to you of what you put in last year?
Yeah, I think obviously like a lot of hard work. There was like zero luck. Literally, I think one person came to me to sell their house. Everyone else I had to go find. So it was grueling, but I think you really get what you like in terms of investments. I think working with coaches and stuff, a lot of people thought I was crazy, but I'm like, dude, there's a learning curve to this business and you can literally buy your future time back. So I think getting 600% is learning things and working with people that are way smarter than me and know what they're doing. And I literally just did what they told me to do, and it worked. So yeah.
Well, a lot of people would probably stop there on the surface of going, wow, 600% growth in 1 year. But I want to know about the growing pains that were a part of that 600% growth, because it's definitely not always pretty.
Oh
Talk
yeah.
about some of how you had to grow in order to match the level of business that you were doing.
Yeah, so that's a great question because I try to be really transparent because I think a lot of people, and I compare myself to people that are way ahead of me, and I think they have it easy. And so for me, I'm really honest that it's really, really hard. Yeah, I've had times where I made like $300,000 last year, but I literally was like on my couch, depressed, deals falling apart. I started last year losing like 5 contracts in January, and that's how I started the year. I lost a ton of money. Bryn left her job to join me, and it was terrifying. I had like $30,000 of credit card debt. So it was awful. I didn't know if I was going to make it. And so I'm super grateful for how hard it was because I don't think I'd appreciate where I was. And it was not easy and it was not pretty. And when we started working together, I literally almost cried because I was so defeated and just really burned out and not profitable. So yeah, I think if you look on paper, it looks great, but in real life, it's just really hard. It's not easy. So
Well, and I do think that it's important. So, you know, your first year in real estate, you sold how much?
like 11 houses,
Okay, and it equated to,
probably like 3.5 million, something like
all
that.
right. And then last year, you and I started working when?
Uh, Last March, around
So
then.
from January to March, what did you do? Do you remember what your volume was, like the first quarter?
Probably like 4 or 5 deals. That's all.
And where did you end the year?
Yeah, around 40.
Transactions for a total of how much?
13.5. Yeah.
And you know that I care about the numbers, but I really care about what the numbers signify. So you had mentioned, $30,000 of credit card debt.
Mhm.
You'd mentioned, being a little bit fearful about Bryn taking that leap of faith and joining you. And so we're down to one income and it's
Mhm.
commission based. Are you at $100,000 of credit card debt now? Where are you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I had to learn how to be profitable. I had never really made money until Brand got in the business because of the lag, right? The first 6 months I was in real estate made zero money. Then the next 6 months just made up for the money I didn't make. So I started the year at zero. She left her job. I didn't even make enough money to make up the money I wasn't making. Now I had to make up hers too. And I was terrified. And I didn't tell her that because she would have been freaking out and I had credit card debt. So no, I actually learned how to be profitable. And it's crazy. I think to really succeed, you have to be really humble and know you don't know what you're doing because we can be good at selling houses, but it doesn't mean we're a good business owner, right? Like I love to spend money and make stupid purchases, and I'm learning that's not that's not okay, Like my expenses are crazy, and I'm finally in year 3 getting that under control. So no, I don't have any credit card debt. I have a lot of money saved up for investments. We almost pulled the trigger. So if interest rates didn't go up so high, we would have our first rental property right now. But yeah, things are rolling. So
Well, you kind of mentioned a love for spending money, and I know that in terms of personal development, that has been something that maybe has clouded the way that some things have been. For someone who has dated a few coaches and have gone to different,
yeah.
development seminars and things, what would you say is different about your experience of what we have been able to do over the last year together?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I've worked with 6 coaches already, including you. And yeah, I'm not working with any of them anymore but you. And I'll be totally honest, I'm not
I'm
just saying this.
protective.
Yeah,
That's what it
you
is.
definitely are. And I did stop working with you for like 1 week and quickly. And I told you, I was like, if things get weird, they got weird really quick. And I was like, I'm going to back up really fast. So with you, I literally just stopped working with another coach, and I'm really open about this. I think the difference is you show up every single coaching call ready to go. I've worked with really great coaches, and eventually it's just like, so what do you want to talk about? And you're paying them like $2,000 a month. It's like $20 per minute. And I'm like, I thought you would know what I need to know because I don't know. So for you, I feel like you keep me really balanced. This business is so hard. Some coaching calls, you're a therapist. Some coaching calls, you're a strategist. You're the coach, whatever you need to be. But I feel like you show up, you know my business, you know me. You'll call me out and be straight up if I'm spending stupid money, or you'll like, you just know what I'm gonna need on that call. And I know if I'm gonna be successful long term. I can go to seminars and other things, but I need someone like you to keep me steady, not go crazy, because it's so easy to go crazy in this business. And last year, we worked together for 9 months, but I took a couple months off. So really in 6 months of working together is probably really like 6 months. We did everything that we did. We did all of our year goal in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, 300,000 plus in 6 months isn't a bad year.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So talking about, you and I use a lot of phrases like protecting your flow state and talking about, what you need to do to stay at your prime. And we spend probably quite a bit of time, more time focused on you and setting up your day versus necessarily the activities that you need to do to achieve the money. So why do we, first of all, if someone doesn't know what we're talking about in flow state, what do you think I mean when I'm talking about protecting your flow state as your coach?
Yeah, so I think everyone has a flow where, whether it's in the gym or with relationships or whatever, where everything is really, it just is really easy. There's no friction. No one has to tell you to wake up and do what you want to do. You're just really aligned with it. You love working out. You love whatever it is. You're not bored. And I think in real estate, things get boring. I do the same thing every single day. I do a lot of the same things every single day. And I've learned success really is boring. And I thought something was wrong because I thought I always had to be motivated. So for us, I think we know like I'm pretty motivated, and we have to find that sweet spot of like, what books do I need to be reading to stay motivated, stay inspired? What time do I need to go to bed? So it's not, I think that's the biggest thing is like, as long as we can keep my mindset, keep everything steady, not go crazy, and that definitely happens because it's so stressful, then yeah, I'm going to do what I know I need to do. You don't have to tell me to do that. Some days you do. We're going to be really successful. So hopefully that makes sense with the flow state.
Well, and I think that, part of this and you've worked with some people maybe for a certain number of sessions, or, you'll do a short period of time. What do you think the benefit is of having that cadence of accountability of a long-term relationship in which we do meet every single week?
Yeah. I've thought about this a lot because I can be pretty reactive. And yeah, I stopped working with you for like 1 week because I made a quick decision and bounced back. So I think about these things all the time. And I think one of the biggest things is, for me to be really successful, like I need different pieces and people in my life, but I'm like, I show up and I'm going to tell you where things are at, and you're going to tell me straight up if I'm not doing things I need to be doing. Like, I don't know. I feel like you're holding me accountable. You're keeping me sane. You're encouraging me if I'm down. You're like pushing me if I know I need to be pushed. Like, I feel like you're the epitome of like, you do such a great job, I think, matching and mirroring whatever you need to be. Because as real estate agents, a lot of times we're just like overpaid therapists. Like we're always like our clients are calling us 24/7 and they're complaining about this and that. We're like, it's okay. And we're talking them off the ledge. And for us, I feel like you do that for us a lot of times is you keep us sane. And if we need to talk like high level strategy with like expireds or for sale by owners or like database, we can do that. But some days I just need you to like tell me everything's okay,
right,
and have like that kind of conversation. And so I feel like you just do a great job. Like, I don't know, if I wasn't working with you, I feel like I would just get lost in the process and the day-to-day grind. And I feel like I'd just start falling apart mentally.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, it's
You
true.
know, it's the same thing with any of us in terms of how do you try to describe what that experience is. And it's very difficult for anyone to go, this is what it's going to be like to work with me. So I
Mhm.
do want to say thank you very much for saying that. I think, you know, there are some people who, and this has been a theme in some of these interviews, is the word coach is used so loosely, right?
Mhm.
Someone can wake up one day and go, I'm going to start calling myself a coach. I really do believe that it's something that you have to earn, and it's something you have to show up to all the time, or quickly you're going to lose people. I have been blessed to work with many of my coaching clients for years, multiple years, that,
Mhm.
you know, we are here seeing life experiences. We're celebrating babies. We're celebrating weddings. We're in celebrate. You know, it's April 1st when we're filming this, and we're on investment property number 5 for the year of people that we're coaching that are
Wow.
building financial independence. So all of these accolades sound great, and for people that are going to hear that, you know, you grew your business by 600% last year, I want to pivot a little bit and go back to that transparency, which is after 600% of growth, why would a rut even possibly be possible? Like, how could you possibly be in a place where you'd need motivation? And I think that that's it's very important for people to understand that you were in one, we have killed it, we are no longer in a rut. But A, how is it possible? And B, what advice
Mhm.
you give to someone if they're in one on how to get out?
Yeah, that's a good question, and, I think I think it's okay, you know, like, um I think real estate's so weird. If you're not in real estate, you have no idea what it's like. It's so hard because I feel like if you have any flaws personally or anything, it's going to be exposed because people don't have business problems. They have personal problems that affect their business. So
Mhm.
for me, I had personal problems affecting my business and I was didn't know, like I set a goal to like double the business I did last year. And then I was like, I don't really know why, you know, like I'm bored. I don't want to do this. So do I have a strong enough reason to do it? And I didn't. So I just didn't do what I need to do. And I was like over analyzing everything. And I was like, maybe it's because I'm a perfectionist, whatever. And I really got lost in that. And yeah, I think it's okay to be in ruts. I think a lot of us, like everyone that you coach, they're all high achievers, right? And we're hard enough on ourselves as it is. So knowing like it's okay, like we're gonna learn, we're gonna grow, and at least having that mindset that it's like it's okay to struggle, get back up, but and then just learn from it, and it's totally fine. And I think being open and honest about it is cool too, because I think a lot of people if you want to intimidate people and for them to think you're perfect, great. But I think it's way better to pull back the curtain and show people you're a human being. You get frustrated, you cry, and yeah, and struggle, and it's totally okay. So we can all, yeah, just know we're all just human.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, I appreciate you going down that, you know, didn't know I was going to pull up, but I think it's
Yeah.
important for people to understand that, you know, ruts do happen
Hmm.
even to the, you know, the best athletes, you know, these people who are investing in themselves and doing things. And so, you know, I do think, you know, one of the interesting aspects, I think everybody uses the word entrepreneur or business owner almost like it's a prefix these days, right? Everybody is claiming to kind of be an entrepreneur or they want to be a business person. You know, why are the books and podcasts and YouTube videos like, why isn't that enough? Why do you need to be in a one-on-one coaching relationship? Like,
Hmm.
is it is it a weakness? Is it a strength? Like, what do you see the value of coaching?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because if I didn't need coaching, I would not pay for it 100%. Like it's an investment. Now my mindset of coaching is totally different. Like if I want to learn something I don't know, I'm going to pay someone to do it. I have like a ton of respect for coaches. And I think it's such I think for one, you can't work with a coach unless you have the humility to know you need one. Because if you don't, then you're not. And you'll never know the blessing of a coach, someone to call you out when you know you need to be called out, and someone that knows way more than you. They're going to help you get where you want to go faster. And I think I mean, it's really simple. If you look at Tom Brady or Michael Jordan and everyone, they all had great coaches. No one did anything great by themselves. So it's like if you can be humble enough and you're just committed to your goal, it's like, I'll do whatever it takes. Number one, you have to hire a coach. And I tell everyone that and I plugged you with a ton of people for one. But yeah, I think I've learned because I used to think I could hold myself accountable and I'd always be motivated and all that stuff. You're just not, and I don't think we can succeed alone. And books, podcasts, that's all great. It'll feed you up. But knowing what to do isn't enough, because I've tried to do this without a coach. Knowing what to do isn't enough. You're not always going to be motivated, and you really do need someone to hold you accountable, and you do need someone to remind you what your goals are. You need someone that's smarter than you. You read like 1,000 books a year. I read like 5. So it's just like you're just on another level. You need someone on the outside looking in to really tell you what's going on. We can't coach ourselves. We can try. You can have great self-talk, and I do, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, the results really speak for themselves.
Yeah, and everyone has blind spots.
Mm-hmm.
And having someone in your corner, and I do think you've talked about it, of like knowing your business intimately, knowing you intimately enough to know when you are trying to BS around a particular topic, or if you're skirting around numbers. That having someone who truly is invested, I pride myself that the people that we work with have also created an environment and a community for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that, leading into this aspect of yourself and personal growth, is it just growth for the sake of growth? I mean, capitalism kind of has this idea that every single year should be year over year growth. I mean, is there ever going to be enough? Like, how do you define what success is looking like for you this year? And how is that maybe different than the way that you looked at success when you first got into this business?
Yeah, I think it's okay for us to learn and grow and change our minds. Like, you're right. There's a lot of pressure on us, and I think going back to your last question too, like thinking of everyone you coach, like if people just look at successful agents or successful people in general, like most of them have coaches, and it's like if you look at that and you're like, most successful people have coaches, and like, I don't know, it's just like if you just model that, you're gonna get a coach. So yeah, success. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and I think a lot of people have an idea of what their why is, and I really didn't know. And I think a lot of people say nice things like, I want to buy a house for my mom, and that's true. I do want to buy rental properties, but it wasn't enough to get me to get up and do what I want to do at a high level the last few months, and I just kind of like went through the motions. Yeah, I think success, like whatever everyone's definition or their goals are, is totally okay for them. I don't think you need to sell 100 houses a year if you don't want to. I think it's whatever will truly make you happy. And I think for me, like growing and being my absolute best makes me happy. There's not really a number attached to it, so I don't really care. I don't really have a goal this year. I'm like, I just want to show up every day and do really well. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it and going, and it's not that you don't have a goal, right? That goal might not necessarily be tied to
Mm-hmm.
a very specific number or a very specific income, but so much of what we talk about is it's really about becoming the person, right?
Yep.
Becoming the best version of yourself, becoming the most optimized in the places that you'd like to see peak performance. That in and of itself is a goal.
Sure.
And it's something that you have to realize on a daily basis. Well, Joe, I really appreciate you taking time with me. I truly do. I am honored that you have first joined with me in this organization,
Yeah.
and that you broke up with me, but you quickly came back together.
It was like a week. It was like a week, maybe even less.
But no, truly, it has been an honor to have you a part of this organization, and I thank you for being here today.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.